Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our Safe for Coffee. Today, I'm going to introduce a new data type called structures. But before that, let's review an example we had previously. I hope you still remember this example called getAverage, where we have a text file with the students, their names, their scores for the assignments and the tests there. We need to read the data from the file and calculate the average for each of the subjects. This is a program for that. We're using a while loop to read the data from the text file line by line using this fscanf, and we save the data into the arrays like the name array, like the scores array, one by one, and then we can do the calculation. However, it take a while from we have written or introduced this program. It's probably, I think we can't remember exactly what those score for, because there are just too many of them. It's not easy to read. Maybe at the time we're writing it, we're clear about it. But after a while, it's became fuzzy and fuzzy. Okay, so the question here is there a better way to organize those variables rather than using those two abstract score 0, score 1, score 2? In addition, arrays are good for storing data like that. However, they are only capable of dealing with data with the same type. For example, with the integer array, we're saving it's a collection of integers. With char array, it's a collection of chars. So what if we have to handle a collection of various data types? Like here for each of students, we have a collection of properties like their name and their score. And they are with different data types. This is the data type we need. It's called the structures. A structure can be declared like this. You use the keyword struct and you give a type name, and you can define that by yourself because it's a customized data type. And then you can put the member data variables inside the body of the structs. For the data type, you can use any of the basic data types such as the int, float, double, char, or other derived data types we're going to introduce in the future. So you could see from here, the struct is a collection of different data types. Where you can define variables with different data types there. Okay, this might help you to understand that where we gave an example for the records of for students, like we can define a struct called records, and where the member variables are a student's name, it's a string as char arrays, and a double as the score for assignment 1, and another double for test 1, and so on and so forth. With that new data structure we have declared, then we can declare two new variables, and each of them is an instance of the struct records. So then we will use that later, and you will see very soon. So before we're reading the data from the text file, we can initialize the value for these two variables as 0. Then we can use that while loop we have rewritten this part. fscanf is there as the same. However, the variable we have changed them to the current record, student name, current records, assignment 1, current records, test 1, so on and so forth. You will see here, compared back to the previous version, it's much easier to read. I think even you have written this program for a very long time and you review it again, it's easier to recall what you have written there, right? Because the name itself tells what does it mean. Okay, so we have rewritten the other part there with the new variables. You will see here we are summarizing where we are actually adding the current records and of the score of the assignment 1 to that of the average, and so like we have done previously. So those assignment 1 inside the average records after this while will be the summation of all the scores of the assignments 1 of all the students. Even right now, it's not the average because previously, if you remember, we are counting how many rows are there, and later we're going to divide all those scores with the row, the value in that row count, so we can get the average. So anyway, you could see from here, it's much easier to read than previous version. Actually, we can write it in a more compact way. Like we don't have to actually write the whole name. Like we could use an M to represent a name. We could use A1 to represent the assignment 1, T1 for test 1. So in that case, it will be much easier to write. It will be more compact like this. Okay.